understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Hi, y'all. It is Wednesday, and in the last hour of every Wednesday show, it is Manhood Hour. Manhood Hour. Rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse, Jesse. The biblical question for this week. Amazing biblical question. To whom or what are you loyal and why? To whom or what are you loyal and why? Man, I've heard some interesting conversation about this word. I had no idea. I literally and honestly had forgotten about that word. And I forgot that people did that. Which leads to, it's amazing the effects that words can have upon human beings. It's mind-blowing. It's no wonder God said once you are born again of the Father, you overcome words. You overcome words because people, the first thing they do is they use words to control you. Either make you feel angry or make you feel good or make you feel afraid or make you feel quote-unquote safe or make you whatever. They use words. And if you're into words, you will, without a doubt, be controlled. You will be controlled. And in counseling, the counseling that I do, I've heard some horrible things, words that people have used against others, against one another, even against themselves, in order to control. It's mind-blowing. But once you overcome words, it's interesting in that, first of all, it's interesting that you can be destroyed in your mind. You can be destroyed by words. But once you overcome words, it's interesting that you cannot be controlled by words. That's amazing to me. You got to overcome the mind. If you free your mind, the rest will follow. If you free your mind, the rest will follow. You need a free mind. When God said, He will renew your mind and give you a clear mind, I now understand. And if ever we need a clear mind, Lord, we need it now. It's just amazing to me what the mind can do. The mind will make you think you know something and you don't. It'll make you say it as though you do know it's true or false. It'll make you say it, and the people are like, what the world are you talking about? But in your mind, you think it's right. You believe it. But anyway, we have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, you're working out, you're cooking breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you are, whatever you're doing, you're fighting with your husband or your wife, or your wife, or whatever you're doing. You're attacking someone, trying to hurt them, or you're trying to make someone feel good. You could be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad. And then later you can podcast the show once you calm down. But you could be listening by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, ring the bell. We're on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, at Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Amazing. And so to get your comments read out loud, you can donate and have them read out loud by going to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. And JLP on Cash App. JLP on Cash App. Many, many ways. All right. Amazing. And there is JLP, Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond, B-O-N-D, JLP on Cash App. Thank you, Jay. I never imagined that one day in my country, America first, I never imagined that if we were to allow the wrong people to take over the government, that all hell would break loose. That everything that the original government had in place to keep people from hurting themselves and hurting others because they are not following the law of the heart. And so you need the law of the land to contain them. And then so originally the government in my country was put in place to contain the people of the land because otherwise they would go out of control. And so you need the law of the land. And we had the law of the land in this country at one time. And as a result, the lawless people were contained. They didn't go completely out of control. Because we had somewhat of a government in place that did that. And so I never imagined that one day human beings, but I understand human nature now, so now it makes total sense. But I never imagined that one day the wrong human beings would take over our country, our government, because the people would vote them in. And once they do, they will unleash the law. They will erase all the laws that contain the lawless. The people who are not following the laws of the heart, of loving God with all your heart, soul, and might, and love your neighbor as yourself. There are people that couldn't do that or wouldn't do that. Everybody could do it if they want to, but they don't, right? And these people have taken over our government, and they have and constantly taken away all the laws that would contain the lawless. And as a result, the lawless are going out of control. Think about it. This is human beings going out of control because they are not contained by the law of the land. And this government who is deliberately taking away these laws so that the lawless can go out of control, they are doing it because they are a lawless people as well. And they are gaining material things like money and perceived power. And they think that that's going to make them happy, and it doesn't. So they have to start a war between the people. In my country, it's amazing. It also amazes, but I do understand it, that human beings can carry out such evil acts upon themselves and others, and they don't see that something is wrong with it, or they might see that something is wrong with it, but something else is controlling them, and they are listening to that, and they simply cannot help it. Grown human beings as well as young people. And everything that at one time that was against the law, that was illegal, that you would be punished by the law of the land if you did it, has now been turned over. And then the people who try to keep the law are the ones that are being punished. Did you ever imagine? But that's the way of the world. Because the world is of its father, the devil, evil. And you must, if you want to survive in this world, if you wanted to survive the attacks that is coming after you already and will get worse from other people of the world, and then the attacks that come after you or go after you within yourself, you got to overcome the world. And you literally can overcome the world. I have no doubt. God said it, and it's true. You can overcome the world. And you can completely live from the world within. And everyone around you will be catching hell because they're living from the fake world, the illusion of the world, and they're catching hell around you. They won't even know you have perfect peace because they're in their mind. They think your mind is working as their mind are, and they think you're feeling and thinking what they are. They think that you're catching the hell that they're catching. It's weird. It's so interesting, though. It's fascinating. It is fascinating. It is fascinating to live in this world and not be affected by it. It is fascinating. It really is. And you can find out for yourself if you work on you. If you were to work on you and stay with it and overcome the not you, you can live in this world and it would be fascinating. But the blind human being won't know it because they'll look at you and think that you're thinking and feeling what they're thinking and feeling. But you will understand why they're thinking and feeling that way because you used to think and feel that way. And so it would not affect you because you will have the understanding. Above all things, get an understanding. The knowledge of is, if you let it go, it will bring you to an understanding. It really, really, it's mind-blowing. And it's for anyone that wants it. And so in my country, they're taking the laws away from the lawless and giving them the lawless, meaning that they don't have to obey the law anymore, and it's going out of control. And the people who are not breaking the law are living in fear. Drugs, prostitution, and suicide. Not only is Satan evil, the evil spirit, offering you suicidal thoughts within your own imagination, the world is working on behalf of Satan, and they're making it possible that you can commit suicide as well. They'll even do it for you. They're making the law so that if you want to take your life away from you, and the devil has not convinced you inside to do it yourself, they will assist you in it. And they call it love. And if you want to be a prostitute, running the risk of getting beat up out there on the streets, robbed, raped, and killed. And at one time, the law was protecting you from that. Now the law is like, okay, go ahead. What the? As long as you vote for me. I'm doing this so you can vote for me. But I'm going to call it love. CNN, a California bill repealing loitering related to possible prostitution was signed into law by Gavin Newsom. Police can no longer arrest those who delay or linger without a lawful purpose. If it appears they were trying to engage in sex work. So if the cop drive up And there you are, ladies, standing on the street half naked and cold, shivering, but you're cold and you're half naked and you're walking up and down the street and you're standing around on the corner waiting for somebody to come by and pick you up and offer you $10. And the cops drive by and say, "What you doing here?" "Oh, come here." You can take your time. You ain't got to rush over anymore.
What the?
And the cop ain't gonna do nothing about it. And so, in my country, before I say that, you know what? Because each individual as an adult is responsible for his or her own life, because you are your own world, I can't blame the politicians for it, because they're doing what ego politicians do. They want to vote. They don't care about you. And if you allow them to use you, so shall it be, right? You grown. You're a grown man or woman. So, whatever. But if you're a prostitute, you can get away with it now in California. And when the cops drive up, like they do in the movie, you can like give the cop the finger. They're not going to do anything about it. The children walk by and they see you out there half naked, shiver, you cold or too hot, and you're selling your body. The children walk by, they're just going to look and be encouraged. "Mommy, Daddy, one day I want to be a prostitute." You know you're out of your mind. That something has happened in your mind if you've been convinced that you want to be a prostitute. I'd rather pick cotton, plow the field, plant peanuts and sweet potatoes, corn, okra, string beans, squash, milk the cow, feed the chicken. But no, you want to be a prostitute. Here's an interview with a Los Angeles prostitute from soft white underbelly. Watch this.
Tell me about your family growing up. You had both your parents?
I had my dad.
Where was mom?
I don't know.
You never had your mom?
Mm-mm.
Mm. How would you describe your childhood with your father?
Pretty normal.
There were no female? Yeah,
Yeah, I had a stepmom.
Your stepmom, okay. Do you think you're getting addicted to this lifestyle? The fast money and all that?
I don't know what you mean addicted.
I mean,
I chose to do it because I always wanted to do it. So
Yeah.
it's like anybody else choosing like what they want to do.
There's no way you could stop and go do
Oh, no.
a regular square job?
No.
Are there any negative effects from doing this kind of work? Nothing. It's all good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't affect your karma, doesn't affect anything like that?
Affect what?
Your karma? Do you believe in karma?
No, not really.
When I see her, I see a young lady that is starving for a return to the love of the Father. That's what I see. And she think those ideas that she have to be a prostitute are her own ideas, and they're not. She's been convinced within that it's okay. And there are consequences of being a prostitute. You get beat up. You get robbed. You get raped. And she think that those are her own ideas. And that's what the devil does to every human being. Everyone. There's not one that it doesn't happen to until you overcome it. Your thoughts are not your own, and you do not have a free will. You are convinced to do what you do, and you think that is you. And then you say, oh, I wanted to do that. I wanted to rob that bank. And you didn't. You're blind and can't see what's going on. I wanted to attack those people. I wanted to lie on those people. I wanted to try to hurt those people because they hurt me. And you didn't want that. Something else wanted it for you, and you took credit for it. You call it I. You took the identity of it as though it was your own. Human beings are possessed. They're possessed. That woman there, that female there, she had no clue what's going on. Really, with herself. And I mentioned that the devil not only convinced you to commit suicide, you might well take your own life. It ain't worth nothing. You're lonely. You don't have friends. You don't have a woman or a man. You don't have anything. You ain't worth nothing. You might as well kill yourself. Oh, okay. Well, who told you to kill yourself? That was me. That was my idea. I felt that, you say. You identify with it, with evil, worshiping evil. But don't worry. If you miss the devil telling you that and you don't carry it out in your own mind, you can go to Canada, and they will assist you in committing suicide. This is from TNC News. Currently, people are eligible for MAID, medical assistance in dying. If they have a serious illness causing them to live in a state of irreversible decline and enduring physical or psychological suffering. Everybody has psychological suffering. Line up. Right? When Canada expands doctor-assisted suicide next year to people who struggle from mental illness, everybody said they have mental illness. It is likely that the government will allow people who are addicted to drugs to qualify as well. Oh, Lord. All they had to do is build a pot house right next to the assisted suicide house, and you're a goner. Put a pot house there, free pot. And they would line up next door, smoke the free pot, and march right over to the assisted suicide building. Watch this from True North.
Canada will legalize medically assisted dying for people addicted to drugs. When euthanasia became legal in Canada in 2016, just over 1,000 Canadians applied for the quote-unquote procedure, applied for death. By 2021, the last year that we have for available data when it comes to MAID, more than 10,000 Canadians took their own lives at the hands of the state via a lethal injection. For context, in 2021, MAID was the 7th leading cause of death in Canada. More Canadians died from MAID in 2021 than they did from liver disease, diabetes, pneumonia, Alzheimer's, and influenza.
Poor people. That's what you get when you don't take control of your own life. Whatever. The devil is having a field day on earth because the earth belongs to him and all his children. They even have a commercial for assisted suicide. Watch this from Simons.
Last breaths are sacred. When I imagine my final days, I see music. I see the ocean. I see cheesecake. Even now, as I seek help to end my life, with all the pain, and in these final moments, there is still so much beauty. You just have to be brave enough to see it.
Doesn't that just make you want to buy a ticket today and head for Canada? They have made death seem so beautiful. And it's just an idea. And when death comes, they're going to wonder, what the? There'll be nothing like that. But it's just so beautiful. She sees cheesecake, and she ain't there yet. What the? Doesn't that make you want to just call up TWA and say, hey, I need to go to Canada? As a matter of fact, death is so beautiful. Give me a first-class ticket. I'm going first class all the way. I see cheesecake already. I'm at the beach. I'm just glowing to death.
What the?
Beautiful music in the background. What part of Canada is that? That many people have already done it. And yet the world's still crowded. No wonder they let the crowd. No wonder they let the illegal aliens in. They need more people for suicide assisted suicide. I wonder will these people qualify for it. Watch this compilation. You'll have it. Oh, okay. We're coming to a break. We'll play it after the break. And then I'll take your phone call. The world inside of you, the fake world, and the world outside of you, the fake world, the illusionary world, is waiting for you. It wants to assist you. It loves you. It will prepare a table of cheesecake, except it's going to be in hell. The cheesecake will be on fire. They are glamorizing assisted suicide, and there are weak-minded people that's going to fall for it. And they use the woman's voice and dancing and sex appeal to glamorize assisted suicide. I rest my case. Talk about the fallen state. All human beings are in a fallen state until they wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Quick break. 888-7753-773. Wake up, oh sleepers. Back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing. Okay, folks, welcome back. 888, if there's a line open, you want to jump in there. 888-7753-773. Let me just say this. because it's happening a lot, and I understand it. It's not. I just want you to be aware. Some of you know that we have a counseling service here, and I do the counseling by phone, Skype, or walk-in. And right now, it is overwhelmingly booked, right? And there are people that are trying to get in from around the world for counseling. They're going to rebuildingdemand.com, or they're calling 800-411-BOND to set up a counseling appointment. And they're not getting in on a timely way as they would like, because the days and stuff that they want is already taken. Be patient, and we will get to all of you. All right? And if anyone cancel, we will. Let's say you have a date for next week or the next week or the next week, and someone cancel for this week, we'll let you know. All right? And we do have the greatest counseling service that's not like it on this side of heaven. Family, individual, whatever, counseling. So I understand, but be patient. We will get to everybody. And we counsel with men, women, and everybody. All races. So go to rebuildingdemand.com or call 800-411-BOND. But be patient. When the scheduler tell you, I don't have this day or that day, blah, 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 he's not doing it just to be saying it. If he can get you in sooner, he definitely will. And then for those who are overseas, I understand that a little, difficult for you, but we'll work with you. I know the time zone and stuff is all weird. We'll work with that as well. We'll work with you. All right? So if you do want it, go to rebuildingdemand.com or call 800-411-BOND. And for personal shout-outs, we got a lot of those, too. I do those as well. Personal shout-out, encouragement, congratulations, happy birthday, whatever, right? Whatever it might be, go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And the Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. after my show. The Hake, HAKE report.com. And James Hake is on fire. And then the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby been on fire lately. Except when he's not there. But he's on fire at 12 noon Pacific time. And on Fridays, he's flying high. Not on pot, not on fentanyl, not on acid, but on natural energy on loan from God. As Rush Limbaugh used to say, the smart, the intelligent, at one time the greatest man, one of the greatest radio talk show hosts on this side of heaven, and a decent human being. Rush Limbaugh, may his soul rest in peace. He is truly missed on this earth. But anyway, let me just finish this, and then I get to your phone calls. Talking about our government now is taking away the law, and so the lawless people are going out of control. And you're doing the government a favor because you're sacrificing your life that they may gain power, perceived power, and wealth. It's all about the money. All wars and everything is about money. It ain't about the land. It ain't about the this. It ain't about the that. That's just what they tell you. But it's about money. They have the same ego you have. TNC News is reporting, as the government appears to make every effort possible to make it easier to get addicted to drugs, the government is now opening the door to letting them take their own lives at the hands of the state. I remember some years ago, but not clear, that in our country, there was a suicide, so-called assisted suicide doctor by the name of Kavorkian, I believe. And he was doing that, or wanted to do it, or may have done it in a couple of cases. So if you need some assistance, they'll have the children of the lie are happy to help you. But make sure you have your money or your insurance when the insurance are paying for them. In the U.S., this is from Dallas News, 10 states have approved a form of physician-assisted suicide. Amazing. But you know what? This is what is called hell on earth. You can either have heaven on earth or you can have hell on earth. It's totally up to you, the individual. Which do you love? Your hell or heaven? I've given unto you life and death. Choose life. That doctor was Dr. Murad Jack Kavorkian. Yeah, remember that guy in America? We did a story on that when I was doing radio before the internet thing came about. And there was some woman that had some type of cancer disease or something. And she was going to do it. I don't know whatever happened to her. In 1998, Dr. Kavorkian was arrested for voluntary euthanasia of a man with Lou Gehrig's disease. He was convicted of second-degree murder and served 8 years in prison. He was arrested. What the? Anyway, so I'm wondering now, will these people qualify for assisted suicide? Watch this compilation.
He is out.
Oh, yeah. A good candidate.
Bro.
He did.
Bro.
He's at work.
Can I get the toilet? Bro, you are faded. And that's what you do. Yo! She need gas and I want toilet paper. How?
He's high at work.
What is wrong with you, bro? They got you working here.
Another one, high at work. A free ticket to Canada.
All we were trying to do was eat breakfast.
Everybody high. Except baby Jessica's daddy. Look at that. Y'all better start.
Looks like this. What's going on with you, man?
Alright, man. I've just been working.
No, we're waiting for food, man. You got a whole line. You've been sitting here nodding out at the drink machine, man.
Customer service just ain't the same anymore. Things just ain't the same. Anytime the hunter get captured by the gang. I have made such a tender trap, hoping you might fall into it. Amazing. Do you still believe my country's coming back? Everybody high, except baby Jessica's daddy. Folks, there's another way out, really. I promise you that. There's another way out, but you got to take control of your own life. You got to take charge of it. You got to work on you to come out of your hell because they are assisting you in your hell. And they are helping you to stay in hell. Why do you think they're offering you drugs? It ain't love. Look at the people right there. And once you get that way, they offer you assisted suicide. By the way, do you want to use your debit card or your credit card? Step right up. This is hell on earth. This is the end time for the world. It's happening already. The Christians are waiting. Stop waiting. It's happening. Whatever they call that, Armageddon or somebody. Anyway, let me go to first-time caller 01 out of Florida. What? Oh. What the? Oh, a first-time caller out of Florida. Oh, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing?
All this well, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hey, so I've been listening to you for a few years now. And I want to say about 3 to 4 years ago, I moved out of my mom's house, right?
Nice.
So in the midst of those I'm 25, by the way. In the midst of those 2 years, I've created 2 sons, and their mother lives with me and whatnot. And I've been kind of debating going back home to be able to save money to set them up for later, because with bills and whatnot, it's super difficult, especially in Broward County. It's super expensive. So I'm kind of debating going home for a year, saving money, and then, at least having something to create a down payment for an actual home or a condo or something more solid than this apartment. And I just kind of wanted your advice on that.
So you're living with a woman now, and you and that woman have 2 kids already?
Yeah, well, technically she lives with me because I kind of take care of everything.
Oh, she lives with you. And why haven't you married her?
I don't know. It's a good question.
And has she complained about not being married?
No.
Oh. And you're thinking about considering moving back home to your mama so you can save some money to buy a house or something, you say?
Yeah.
And does this woman you live with, or living with you, is she working?
Nah. Because my oldest son is 2. He'll be 3 in January. And then my youngest, he just got here. So he's 3 months.
Oh. So you made 2 boys first?
Yeah.
Real men make boys first. You must know the secret to making boys first.
Yeah.
You know that secret?
Yeah, I do.
Right on. See? Why can't you get a second job?
That's the thing. I do is because I do mechanic work. So one of my jobs right now is switched over from hourly to commission. So this month has been super slow. But even the past few months, I've just been getting by, and I don't feel comfortable with it. But like I said, I've been listening to you for a while, and I know stuff like that creates growth. Because when I first moved out, I was making hardly nothing, and then I started making more money. But at the same time, I started making more responsibility for myself as well. And I recognize that, but I don't want to take the easy way out. It is an option. If I did go back home, I would help pay stuff. I'd probably never be there because I'd always be at work. I'm always at work now. But
right.
I can kind of,
What would happen to your children and that woman if you went back home?
I'm not a fan of her mom. See, my mom I don't have an issue with. Both of our parents both work from home. So her mom works at home. She go back. She has a place there, a room. But it's only a matter of time for I feel like her mother will start getting frustrated with, 2 young kids running around.
So if you went back to your mother, she would be sent back to her mother.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And the kids would go with her or with you?
They go with her. I could probably take one with me because our parents actually don't live far apart, so it wouldn't be much of a journey.
Right.
But I'd probably take the older one with me and then let her manage the smaller one in the meantime, because my schedule is a lot more flexible with one job being commission-based and the other one being hourly. Both of them are automotive-based, so it's,
right.
I can
Are you guys living beyond your meaning that you're buying stuff and getting things that you don't need at this time?
Yes, and no. So before she moved in with me and before she got pregnant, she bought this car, and it's payments. I'm not the payment. I'm not a leasing type of person. If I'm going to buy a car, it's just going to be outright cash, so I can own it, and then the only thing I'm paying is insurance. But so when she got pregnant with the second baby, it was like, okay, she definitely has to stay home. Like I didn't see no point in her being at work, and
right.
I'd make more money than she would from me going to work and her staying home. More money would be coming in if I work more versus her working. So she stays home, but this car is like an extra $1,000 a month.
Well, why don't you make her turn the car back in?
I've contemplated that, but I'm not sure how that would work. I know I don't know if you end up paying the bank back or if it's still going to snatch out more money. I'm not sure how that'll work. But
if she's leasing the car, she should talk to the people that she's leasing the car from, and they may come, especially with the economy being the way it is now, maybe they can work out a deal with her where they can take her back without having her to pay for the car, even though she's returned it.
Okay. I'll probably consider that because that's honestly what's really killing me is this car.
Well,
I can take care of all the rest of the bills, no problem. Yeah, you're right.
Or, so if you told her she has to take that car back, which is she willing to do it?
Yeah, that's the only reason. That's why it's funny when you ask me why I ain't married her, because, I mean, she don't give me no issues at all, like whatsoever.
Oh, she obeys you?
Yeah, pretty much. So, like, I don't have no issues
take that
whatsoever.
car back. Here's what I recommend, but do what you want, all right? It's the final decision is yours. And don't ever do what I say until you see it for yourself. But I would have her take that car back. I would recommend, now that the other job is not weekly or every other week, but commission, I would find a job doing the same thing or something better that is weekly rather than commission if you're not making the same amount of money. And then I would do the silent prayer and see what happens. And because it's through these tough times, if you don't give up, it's when you're really made to be your best.
Yeah.
And you would trust the truth within. You would trust the Father when you're going through tough times. And that's why when we are going through tough times, we're supposed to count it all joy because tribulation brings patience in your life. And then, I don't want to do it but see what happens if you make those adjustments. Take that car back. You don't need it. There's a lot of money to have or save or whatever. And then see if you can get another job. But since the other job gone commission, are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
I almost lied. No. I started. I'd be good for like a week, and then I'll start getting distracted. I'll wake up in the morning, grab my phone. I wake up late, and I got to get to work.
Well, no wonder. I would recommend you put first things first, and that is seeking the Father. Put nothing or no one or anything above that. And then the Father will guide you, and amazing things will start to happen because life happens, and things in life happen accidentally. We don't have anything to do with it. All things happen accidentally in life. And you would be surprised what would happen if you put seeking what's right first, and eventually what's right is going to guide your whole life. And opportunities and insight and understanding will become amazing to you, man. It would be different than living in the darkness. And then you will see what to do next if you put that first and then make those two adjustments. Take that car back, no excuse, take it back. At least talk to the folks down there to see what you can do about it. You can't afford it anymore. And then see if you can find a job that is not commission and see what happens.
That actually don't sound like a bad idea whatsoever.
I'm sorry?
No, that doesn't sound like a bad idea at all.
Yeah. Instead of just running, and I understand why you're saying that, but, instead of just running back home to mama, it's just not going to work out very well.
Yeah, I don't want to. That's why I was kind of been contemplating for the past couple months. I really don't want to go back home.
Yeah.
At all.
A man should not, unless an extreme emergency where you just somehow or another got hurt and can't help yourself, you had no other choice. A man should not return to mama. I'm bringing it up not to brag or anything, but when I moved to L.A. at 18, for quite a long time, I mean, I went through all kind of stages of things, all kind of things, but I never, that I can remember, thinking about returning to mama or grandmama. You know, I ended up living in roach-infested hotels or motels, but I just didn't think of going back home to mama. It was just what was happening in my life. It was just part of what was happening. And I was going from one thing to another one. But when you smoke on it, let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I definitely will. I most definitely will. I ain't see nothing wrong with what you said at all. Well, I never really do see nothing wrong with what you say. So.
All right, and do the prayer, man. Get back with the prayer. And let the light guide you. It really will. Don't put anyone or anything before that.
I'm gonna hop back. I hear the music, so I'm gonna hop back to it. Thank you.
All right.
Really appreciate it.
Oh, let me know how it goes.
All right, I got you.
All right, buddy. Bye. 888-775-3773. A quick break. 2 more hours to go. Your phone calls and super chats coming up. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. And I'll be back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Bitcoin is going up, and there is ongoing Israel-Hamas drama. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. Stay tuned for hour two. JLP will be right back to your calls and more great stories. And, of course, Manhood Hour is coming up third hour. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports Bitcoin, or Bitcorn, depending on who you're talking to, is surging again, topping $35,000 for the first time since May of 2022. Many investors are growing excited about the cryptocurrency's 20% jump over the past 5 days. Don't get excited. But if history is any indication of Bitcoin's volatility, it is possible that the sharp rise could be followed by a steep plunge. So watch out there. And meanwhile, in the world, Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports, actually the far-left females at the Skim mainly report this. Yesterday, the so-called World Health Organization, the evil, corrupt part of the evil UN, United Nations, joined many, both the UN and WHO, joined many in calling for an immediate ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Hamas killed more than 1,400 people on October 7th. Wow, in one single day, according to this report. Israel has responded with an unprecedented number of airstrikes, while Hamas and militant groups in Gaza have continued launching rockets, thousands each, according to the IDF, Israeli Defense Force, if you believe them. More than 5,700 Palestinians have been killed, according to the Palestinian health officials, which is a lot. Now Israel's siege on Gaza's access to food, fuel, and water has pushed the Gaza Strip, to the brink. Brink of what? A lot of death. 12 out of 35 hospitals been forced to shut down per the WHO. Other hospitals at risk. The UN said fuel is expected to run out tonight. And Israel has so far rejected calls for a ceasefire, prioritizing their military goals of ending Hamas, no matter what the civilian death toll is, right? According to them, according to these people. The approach comes in contrast to 2021. A few years ago, a couple years ago, when Israel and Hamas agreed to a mutual ceasefire for 11 days after 11 days of fighting. Israeli officials reportedly say any pause could give Hamas time to regroup, One reason they're preventing fuel from entering the Strip. Israel also apparently resisting Hamas's call for a pause in exchange for an estimated 220 hostages. Instead, they reportedly delayed a ground invasion to see if mediators like Qatar, and Egypt can secure their release. And the evil Biden administration is backing Israel up, demanding the release of the hostages as a precondition for any ceasefire. But yesterday, they echoed calls for a humanitarian pause. Sound like they're wishy-washy, right? Sleepy Joe, wishy-washy? Sounds right to me. A pause could come in hours, days, or months. Maybe it already happened. I don't know. One thing is clear, the death toll in the latest Israel-Hamas war has surpassed all of their previous wars since 2008. Any playbook that the two had on hostage negotiations or ceasefires may be thrown out the window as each sees the latest bout of fighting as an existential threat and a matter of survival. What a mess, huh? What else is going on in the world? Whole lot of mess. The speaker saga. Yesterday, let's see. House Republicans selected Representative Mike Johnson as their next speaker nominee in a secret ballot vote Tuesday after Tom Emmer dropped out of the race earlier in the day. He was sort of a wishy-washy lame-o, not very supportive of Trump. Trump's linked him to Soros, maybe, or somebody linked him to Soros, George Soros. So he's a lame-o. But he's out. He dropped. And they're heading for a floor vote today. Maybe they already did it. I don't know. Who cares, right? Louisiana lawmaker may be able to secure 217 votes. We'll see. Democracy is messy sometimes, but it is our system, said Mike Johnson. It's not a democracy. I already don't like him. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
Stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way, I know we can find a way, I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show. Manhood Hour is coming up in the third hour. Next hour, rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. You can get involved right now by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. I'm saying this word right. Hake. To whom or what are you loyal?
Close enough to me. Close enough for government work.
To whom? To whom or what are you loyal?
Nice. That was good.
And why? I wonder why I had such a tough time with that word.
It's the cleft palate.
And black.
You can't say loyal?
Loyal.
Yeah, see.
But I'm looking at the word, so I see L-O-Y. So in my mind, I'm going, law. And then I see A-L, aw. Remember in high school, they used to have us break the words down in syllables?
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore, right?
I don't know. It's a phonetic spell. Sound it out. That's how I always was taught. But I don't know how they do it nowadays.
Were you taught that way, Hassan?
Yeah, I still like to sound it out.
Do you break it down and then sound it out?
Yeah, I like to. I need as many steps as possible.
Sometimes if I just look at the word, I'll add in letters and syllables that aren't there.
You would?
Yeah.
No wonder you're so crazy.
Whatever.
I mean, to be fair, I think you're saying it pretty well for not for forgetting that it was even a word, like you said.
Honestly, man, I forgot about that word.
Yeah, so I mean, with all things in consideration.
You can tell I ain't been Laurel. But anyway, hey, I want you to tell the people about Bridges in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Well, so we have every way that you could watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And then if you're busy but you can't watch the show live, sit and watch it, you can be listening on your iPhone or iPad. And then you can podcast it later. So call 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500 on your iPhone or iPad. And so you can stay doing what you're doing. And then you can podcast later. You know what I mean? And don't forget to follow us on cozy.tv. Cozy.tv/JLP and JLP Talk on X. JLP Talk on X. We're going to read your super chats here in a minute. To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk and rebuildingdemand.com. Rebuildingdemand.com. Before I go back to the phones, I mentioned in the first hour, if you miss it, you can podcast. We talked about in Canada, they have assisted suicide going on. And so many people, according to the report, have taken their lives already. And we have that in this country, in some states, I believe. And there was a woman by the name of Brennan Maynard that a long time ago, well, not long time ago, but a while back, according to the report, did it. Tell us about Brittany.
Yeah, I have a picture of her and her little Wikipedia thing in the folder there, Hassan. Brittany Maynard, the young woman who did assisted suicide in Portland, Oregon in 2014, November, at age 29, the tender age of 29. She had a brain tumor. She was married to this one guy for like 2 years, and he stayed married to her, but she killed herself within 2 years of their marriage.
That's her right there. May her soul rest in peace.
She was born down in Anaheim here in California, but I think she moved up to Portland, Oregon, because Oregon allows you,
right.
or at least back then it did, probably still this day, allows you to do physician-assisted suicide.
So young.
Yeah, we interviewed a few people about her situation, some even Christian or Catholic type people who are for this. Death with dignity, they call it, or right to die.
How are you going to have death with dignity? That doesn't even make sense.
I know. Isn't it kind of, by definition, kind of undignified?
It is. The fact that you died is undignified.
Yeah.
What the?
Terrible.
But that's how the word it dresses up evil to make it appealing.
Yeah.
And so you can accept it.
Yeah, they had this whole either news report or propaganda puff piece, which is basically the same thing, about her situation when she was still living.
Yeah.
How she going detailing how like they discovered she had the cancer and she was only going to be suffering. And you mentioned the Lou Gehrig's disease, that guy who Dr. Kavorkian, who killed somebody with his permission, who had Lou Gehrig's disease, which is a crazy
amazing.
They call it ALS.
And Lou was a football player or something, right?
I think he was a baseball player.
Yeah,
Lou
something
Gehrig.
like that. Yeah, I can't remember that. Amazing.
Yeah.
The devil is a mess.
Indeed.
All right. So I was looking at your shirt. This is Santa Monica?
It says Santa Monica, and it says Historic Route 66.
Oh, yeah.
Which stretches from Santa Monica all the way to, I don't know where Route 66 goes, but it's.
I remember a movie like that or something called Route 66.
Oh, yeah. It's like a very famous place. It existed from 1926 to 1985. But people still use Route 66. It goes all the way to like somewhere in Missouri.
Amazing.
Yeah. Will Rogers Memorial Highway.
It was a song or movie or something a while back.
Yeah. It's very much in American culture. Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. Yeah, it used to run from Chicago, Illinois to Santa Monica, California.
Nice.
To the ocean.
Amazing. Nice shirt, man.
Thank you.
What?
Sweet. And it's 100% cotton.
And what that mean?
That it doesn't have polyester in it or some man-made material that stinks quicker.
Oh, cotton is not made by man.
No, cotton is made by God.
But the other
and
made
picked by man.
Oh. And
you ever pick cotton?
What?
You ever pick cotton?
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, my boss, my master said, pick cotton. I'm like, yes, master. Where?
I heard you pick it early in the morning when it has dew in it.
Right.
So that it's heavier, so you get more money.
Yeah, we were tricking the white man. We would go out there, Hassan, when it's like 6 in the morning, and the cotton is still wet from the dew, and we'll pick it much real fast before noon. And then the sack seemed really heavy, so when we put on the scale, it weighs more than it does when it's dry.
Right.
and the master was like, fine job, y'all.
Seems like a dangerous job.
Dangerous?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. I mean, can't you like prick your fingers and stuff?
Yeah, aren't there thorns?
Yeah, the thorns do stick under this part. It does.
It sticks underneath your cuticles?
Well, they don't stick there, but it goes there and push it and make it sore.
Ow.
And then you run the risk of getting bit by a snake.
Oh yeah, that was my next.
Whoa.
That was my next thing.
So you got to be alert.
Because that's cottonmouths, right?
But I ain't scared of no snake.
Cottonmouths, I thought they were in the water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they weren't in the field, man.
They don't actually eat cotton.
Oh, well.
That is in the South.
Snakes nonetheless, though.
Ain't nobody afraid of no snake.
What type of snakes? But it was just garter.
Snake, green snakes, black snakes.
Those are all poisonous?
Snakes.
Are all three of those poisonous?
No,
I know
rattlesnakes are.
Yeah, the rattlesnakes.
Venomous, not poisonous.
Venomous is poison.
Whatever. It's slightly different.
Have you seen a voluptuous woman that would have venom?
Yes.
I'd plead the fifth.
Disavow.
Dangerous job, nonetheless.
And then you're bent over with your back. Your back is bent the whole time, right?
Yeah, that's why when you stand up, you go, Lord have mercy. Lord, my back hurt. And then the sack trying to hold you down so you get irritated and throw the sack off.
Mm.
My back hurt. Lord, let me go sit down under the tree for a minute.
And then you're in the sun, right? Isn't it hot and humid? Is it humid down there?
It's hotter than hell.
Whoa. You can't say that, can you?
Yeah, there's a hell. Hell on earth.
But how do you know it's hotter than that?
Because I felt it in the cotton field.
Yeah, that southern humidity will make you cuss.
And that's why everybody's black.
Right. I mean, does the sun hit your skin, or do you cover up?
No, we just have a straw hat on.
Okay.
But even the white folks turn black in the sun.
Yeah.
Down there. So all the black people end up being extra black.
Right. Well, good job.
Amazing. When my master said he's sick, I said, yes, master, we sick.
But that's kind of a good thing that does the cotton gin replace you guys?
Yeah.
Or is there some like tractor thing that kind of...
tractor thing picked the cotton now.
That's nice, huh?
Yeah.
That's got to be...
And then all the blacks have to go up north and live in the project and get free stuff.
There's always something else to do, though.
Yeah.
It's not like...
No, I'm just playing by that. Most of the blacks that I knew, at least, they would start their own business. They would do different things.
People worry that automation is going to replace a lot of the jobs, which it does.
Plus, by the time...
Which it does, but there's always something to do, isn't there?
Always. When there's always something to mind you.
I get that it disrupts people's jobs and careers.
But by the time automation started to come into existence, it was in the, if I remember correct, it was like in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. People were moving away from the South anyway around that time.
Yeah.
It was kind of changing, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was changing anyway.
Now people are moving back to the South because they're being replaced over here by the illegals and the legals.
And the
anchor
South
babies.
is beautiful, too.
Yeah.
I was just down there recently, and it was like amazing.
Except it's hot and humid.
Like, now they're going, no.
All right.
Thank you, Hake.
You're welcome.
Let me go to John, the first time call out of Texas. John, thank you for calling. Thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Yes, thank you for having me on, Jesse.
You're welcome.
I have a question because I've been watching your show for over a couple weeks now. But something caught my attention when you said that women cannot show no love. And I really don't understand where you're coming from because I don't think it's a biblical statement. I have a loving mother. I had a loving grandmother. Most women I'm around, they do show a lot of love. So I'm wondering where you're coming from.
Well, I didn't say that women don't show no love. I said that women don't have love. And your grandmama, your mama, her mama, her mama, her mama, and mama don't have love. They only have anger, and it feels like love. But anger, the emotion that comes from anger is not love, it's hate. And that's why when they love you with that hate feeling and they call it love, they put a requirement on you. You got to do what they want you to do it the way they want you to do it. And if you don't, they're going to get ticked. And they want to control you. They want to call you every day. You got to take care of mama now for the rest of your life because it's selfish. It's ego. It's not real love. And because Satan is the woman's God and God above is the man's God, from Satan, they only get the nature of Satan, which is hate. It's anger. Until they repent and return to the true God, their fathers, then they have love. But women don't have love. That's why we have so much evil on earth. It operates through the woman.
Yeah, but doesn't most evil come from men? Isn't men the ones committing high levels of crime? Isn't men the ones that are in prison? Isn't men the one that hurt women? Aren't men the issue?
No.
Aren't the ones that are causing all these trouble?
The men that are committed a crime with that anger is they have the nature of the woman. They have the nature of their mother. And that anger was passed down when they came through the woman and she imposed her will on them as children. They took on her identity, which is evil. And so the crime that men commit is that of the woman. And when they're mean to women and they hate women, it's because they still hate their mothers. And every woman they get with, they can't deal with it because they never dealt with their mothers. They never were able to overcome, and so they become violent. But it's the spitting image of their mother.
Okay. Well, I kind of still disagree with it, honestly.
And why do you disagree?
Because I've seen a lot of love coming from mothers.
No, you have never seen any love come from a mother. Not period.
Well, mothers are the ones that raise babies, right? So they're the ones being raised by the mother. So if the mothers showed no love to those babies growing up, like most of these babies wouldn't even exist because mothers would abandon them. Mothers would leave them. Mothers wouldn't want to be with them. So that's where I'm coming from. Like,
But the
mothers do show love.
No, they don't have any love at all, and that's why
my mother loved me. My mother loved me.
I promise you, your mother did not love you. Why do you think you became so emotional?
How am I emotional? Like, that's why I don't understand.
Are you emotional?
Look, I love. I'm a very compassionate person. I'm a Christian. I'm an American first patriot.
Are you emotional?
No.
You're not emotional. How are you compassionate if you're not emotional?
Well, and emotional in a positive sense, I guess. Not in a way where I'm like trying to hurt nobody.
And so, are you emotional?
Yes, I guess so. From your context, yes.
And how? So, are you emotional or not?
Yes.
And how did you become emotional?
I guess it's more of a compassion thing. Jesus from the Bible, just understanding my fellow man and fellow woman.
How did you become emotional?
I'm confused. I don't know what you're asking.
I'm asking you, how did you become emotional?
I guess picking up traits from people I watched, picking up traits from people I was around with. And,
did you get those traits from your mother?
I guess my mother and my father.
Did you get those traits from your mother?
50-50, yeah, 50%.
Did you get those traits from your mother?
Yes, 50%.
Did you get those traits from your mother?
Yes.
And you like being emotional?
Well, I don't really look at emotions as a negative thing. I think it's more of a having compassion, having understanding, and I don't want to divide a man from woman. I want to bring them together and create that unity.
Do you like being emotional?
No.
And why don't you overcome it?
Overcome what?
Emotions.
I'm literally confused right now. How do I overcome my quote unquote emotions?
If you don't like being emotional, why don't you overcome it?
Well, it's not that I don't like it. It's that I'm expressing my feelings right now on this call.
You like expressing your feelings?
Well, expressing it in our disagreement when it comes to women showing love.
And so do you want to overcome those emotions or not?
I guess yes.
And why do you want to overcome them?
I want to understand them more than anything.
And why do you want to overcome them?
Why do I want to overcome them? I really don't know.
And how will you ever lead women if you're emotional like a woman?
I don't think I'm being emotional as a woman. I think
you said you call it compassion.
I'm trying to comprehend.
You call it compassion.
I'm trying to comprehend what you're trying to say.
Oh, I see. You call it compassion, but the real word is emotion. And any person that is emotional is evil.
So you would say that you wouldn't show compassion to a fellow man, to people that are going through all type of discriminations and racism and anti-Semitism and all these things that are unfair to people? Wouldn't you say that you want to have compassion for these people?
No. You know why?
Why?
Because none of those things exist. A compassionate person, which is the emotional person, think that there are isms. They think that there's racism, anti-Semitism, white supremacism. There are no isms.
But didn't Jesus come for the meek? Didn't Jesus come for the people that suffered unfairness by the system and unfairness by the Pharisees and the quote-unquote Jews? Like,
You said
Isn't
that
that what
Jesus come for the
Bible
meat.
teaches? Yeah, the meat.
He came for the meat and the cheese and some wine.
No, but I'm just trying to understand. Like, that's why I'm saying that I'm trying to comprehend and I'm trying to understand, like, where you're
You
coming
said
from.
that Jesus come for the meat. What do you mean? M-E-E-K, I'm told. I thought you said meat. I knew you had some cheese and wine.
M-E-E-K.
And some grapes. And what does that mean to you?
Well, the people that have less, right? People that are born in unfortunate situations, right? People that experience maybe racism or going through all type of financial situations or...
You think Jesus came for those folks?
Yeah, people that suffer, I would say. Yeah.
Where'd you get that idea from? That's one of the crazy idea I ever heard. I didn't know anyone thought that way. Jesus didn't come for those
that's the
folks.
understanding that I got when I read the gospel.
Oh, you got the wrong understanding from the gospel. He didn't come
I've
for
been
those.
going to church my whole life, so...
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Jesus did not come for those folks at all for those reasons, for sure.
So who do you come for?
He came for those who were lost.
Well, those people are lost. Those people do need our help.
But he didn't come for them because they didn't have food or they were poor, they were racism. He came because their soul was lost, not for the physical things.
Okay, because of sin, right?
Because they had hatred of the heart. And also, Jesus didn't come to end racism and all kind of ism. He didn't come for that reason at all because that never existed and it doesn't exist today. So he had nothing to do with that. That wasn't even on his mind because it did not exist.
So if it didn't exist, why was there so many tribes in the biblical history? Why was there Gentiles? Why was there Jews?
Because of the hatred of man's heart.
Okay, well, you said it yourself right there. From man's heart, it didn't come from the woman. It's
When I say man, I mean man and woman.
But wasn't it man like running these societies?
Yes, and that's why at one point it was so great. Now that the women run it, you get nothing but hell.
But I don't think we could blame all women. That's my point. Like, there's some good women, like, for instance, my mother or, like, my
Your mother's not good, man.
What do you mean she's not good? Like, she raised me, she took me to church, she fed me, she gave me everything I needed.
And you know why she did that, all those things?
Why?
She's evil. Why do you think she get on your nerves at times?
I don't think she gets on my nerves.
Yes, she does. She controls you.
How does she control me?
Because you think she has love.
I'm confused. Just
look at how have you noticed? Does your father live with your mother?
Yes, they live together.
Have you noticed how your father can't deal with her?
Well, my father gets very well with my mother.
Have you noticed how your father can't deal with her? He can't correct her. She doesn't obey him. Have you noticed that?
No, I have not noticed that. I think my father is the leader of our home.
Is he the leader of your mother?
Yes.
Does she obey him?
Yes, I would say so.
Are you still living at home?
Yes, I am.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
I told you your mother had no love. Why are you at home at 25, man?
Well, I'm trying to fix up a little bit of money, trying to,
Why
no,
not?
It's not beta. It's not beta.
Why not get a job and move out and then build your life?
I do. That's the thing. I do have a job. I'm just saving up some money,
Why can't you do that out there on your own? Why you got to live in a mama house, dress tail to do that? A man should get out and build a life. Life is not just about money.
Well, that is very true, but at the same time, I do feel very comfortable where I'm at.
I know. And why does your mama and your father let you stay there at 25 and feel comfortable? You have to come out of your comfort zone, buddy.
No, but that's the thing. I'm not saying, like, comfortable. Like, I'm not trying to leave. I'm saying comfortable in the financial sense.
No.
To the point where
If you were comfortable, you'd be out on your own.
But isn't that a bit harsh? Don't you think that's like suddenly I should just leave just because I should leave?
No, you should leave because you're a grown adult male that need to develop into manhood, and that's not going to happen living under your mama and your daddy's roof. And your father is baiting for letting you stay there. I understand that mama used you by staying there because it gives her a false sense of feeling good. But your daddy is weak for letting you stay home. If he loved his son, he will throw him out of the nest.
Okay, so at what time should a child leave their parents' home?
18, no later than 19.
That's a bit harsh, honestly. Especially how the financial situation is. Well, especially how the financial situation is right now with Joe Biden and the lack of jobs. And
oh no, there are plenty of jobs out there. You can work 2 or 3 jobs. You're not married and have children, right?
No, I'm single and I don't have children.
So why can't you work 2 or 3 jobs?
Even then, it's still very difficult. Like if I want to save
how
up
you
money,
know you haven't done it yet?
No, but I have a very well established job. Like,
well, now, if you did, why don't you go and grow up and deal with the issues of life on your own rather than being in the comfort zone of your parents?
Well, that maybe we have a different opinion when it comes to that. I'm talking more of saving money. That's what I'm talking about.
No, you can save money on your own, man. You want more than just money. You want a life. And you get a life when you're out there dealing with life and overcoming issues and dealing with issues. You're not going to grow trying to save money. Why are you trying to save money? For what?
To establish myself with the property and a proper home, I would say. I don't want to live in an apartment.
Why not?
Because I think I feel like I'm controlled if I live in an apartment because I can be kicked out anytime. But if I own my own home,
you could be kicked out right now. If your dad had any sense, he could kick you out right now out of his place.
But that's the thing. He can, but I haven't done anything to...
If he loved you, he would do it. Are you surprised your father let you stay there?
I'm not surprised at all. I think it's a very common thing among the Hispanic community.
Oh, man. What a mess. John, thank you for your call.
Well, thank you very much, Jesse, and hopefully you change your mind when it comes to that. I don't think women are evil. I think you need to forgive your mother.
Go and forgive your mother for what she's done to you. You'll see the evil come out.
You need to forgive your mother, Jesse.
You'll see the evil come out, John. Call me again, though. I got to run, all right? Call me again.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry. Because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have the sex. You don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. It's so unfortunate, and I mentioned this in the beginning of our fellowship this past Sunday. You can check it out by podcasting rebuildingtheman.com/church. It's unfortunate that things have changed, and that now the attack is upon males, and to the point that even in the home, the parents are doing it to the boys. Especially the mothers and the father who are weak, like John's father, they won't push the men out of the nest when they become an adult so they can grow up and deal with life and lead the world in the right way to go. This attack upon men is wicked. It's pure evil, and it starts in the home. Anytime your parents are telling you to stay home until you make some money and get a house, they're telling you, I don't love you. Stay home and be weak. Don't go out there and become an example. They'll destroy you, and they do not love you. This attack upon men, it starts in the home. It's not just out there in the system, and it is out there too, in the schools, in the workplace, in the government. It's everywhere. But the most important thing, it starts in the home. And mothers who are keeping their sons at home by seducing them and telling them, oh, you save some money, baby. They'll tell you, I don't love you. The spirit in me hates you because you represent God, and you stay home and let me stifle it. And the father that allows that to happen, if he's in the home, he's already been stifled. He's a beta. He lives with mama. He can't do anything. The attack upon men is evil. And women, if you love your sons, you would let them go. In the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, I remember mothers encouraging their daughters to wait because a daughter should leave home with her husband. Her protection is from her father while growing up, and then when she become an adult, her protection is from her husband. But the men, you're supposed to go out there and prepare for that. It's unfortunate he thinks his mother loves him. His mother doesn't love him. That ain't love. That's hate. How you going to tell a 25-year-old male that you need to be staying here and saving some money? Life is not just about money. It's about developing that nature, God-given nature that has been put inside of men because of God in Christ, Christ of man, man of a woman, woman to men need to lead. By example, be the light of the world. And I'm hearing all these horrible stories now from guys who their mothers kept them at home, and as they get older, they become weaker and weaker and weaker. They become afraid and bitter. They hate their mothers for doing that, and they hate the world because they can't deal with the world. What a mess, huh? This is evil, folks. Our battle is a battle between good and evil, and it ain't a joke. It ain't nothing to freak out over either, but it's not a joke. And these men are being absolutely destroyed by these mothers, and they call it love. Amazing. Let me go to Thomas out of Georgia. Georgia, on my mind. Thomas, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Amazing. How you doing today, man? All
is well, Thomas. Amazing.
Well, I've got a situation. I don't know if it's quite unique or not, but basically, I'd say about 16 years ago, my brother, and by the way, just to give you paint the picture, we are about half American Indian, half Caucasian. And my mother's about 80-something% or something like that. And my brother fell in love with a beautiful black lady. And the only thing my parents told me growing up, because I have a Caucasian dad, and technically my mom and dad are in a interracial marriage, legally you could say. She just told me don't be bringing home no hood rats. That's how she always said it. And I was never raised to look at any race as different or anything. But I guess my brother had it in his head that he thought that they wouldn't like the idea. So, you know, my mom and dad knew they were friends and all, but what he did is went and married her in secret. And as soon as my father and mom found out about it, he pretty much said, well, if you're old enough to marry in secret, you're old enough to basically get your butt out of the house. And I guess his wife took it as it was some sort of racism type of deal. And it caused problems for about a year or two. The family finally got over it. And, you know, and I would see them at every holiday and every special event. We would, you know, get together and celebrate. And I always knew she was a very emotional girl. It almost seemed like she had the issue of an interracial marriage more rather than my brother. And she was just so sensitive, putting herself in situations she didn't need to be in. Like I had a girlfriend at one point, and she knew my parents didn't like my girlfriend. So she actually contacted me on a computer, hiding who she was, trying to act like, she was trying to act like I was cheating on my girlfriend with her to try to make my girlfriend mad, just because she knew my parents, just putting herself where her business don't need to be in. Well, all of a sudden, this is the whole reason I'm calling to ask your advice. All of a sudden, 3 Christmases ago, we were all together having, you know, fun, celebrating Christmas and everything. And my mom, my brother's wife, and him, they were all playing poker at the table. And we just had some ancestry stuff done. And my mom's sister had I know, I've learned from you racism isn't real, you know, it's a facade. We wrestle against flesh and blood. But in that point of view, he was about the racist person I ever met. He wouldn't even let people park in his house that had a black vehicle. I'd never seen anything like it. He was an ex-KKK and all that stuff. Everybody hated him. But what was so funny is we found out after he had passed away that his bloodline had about 18% African American in it. So it's been a joke amongst the family. Only if he was alive, you know, it'd be funny to see what he would think about that, since he had that hatred towards the black race. Well, anyway, my mom brought that up, laughing about it, and the only statement she made was, well, we don't have African American in our bloodline, but we do have Irish. And it seemed like my brother's wife took that so serious. Since then, she's said my mom is racist, this and that, and this is going on almost 3 years now. I have not even been able to see my brother, talk to him. She somehow has him completely over there under control, to where he runs a YouTube channel where he teaches people how to rap, and does pretty good for himself. He will respond to everybody's comments but mine. He'll have sometimes 120 comments on a video. And at this point, I don't know what to do other than just keep praying about it.
And your question for me is what?
It tears me up inside, because I love my brother, man, with all my heart. And we used to be best friends. How do I get through to him? Or maybe the real question is, how do I deal with this myself to where it's not bothering the heck out of me so much? I guess that's the real question, because there's no way I can get through to him, because I can't even get in touch with him.
So your question is, how do you overcome it?
Yes.
By overcoming the thoughts and emotions about it. Because the only reason that you're feeling anything about it is because you're into thoughts and emotions about it. So it's all you and not him. It has nothing to do with him. It's just about what your ego wants. And right now you can't get it the way you want it, so you're feeling this about it. Why not overcome the thoughts and feelings so you can be free and let your brother go off and do what he got to do? Live his life, and maybe one day he'll wake up, maybe one day he won't, but you'll be free. That woman is trying to control him on her end, according to you, and you're trying to control him on your end because you want it the way you want it.
Yeah, you're all right, but I ain't seen it that perspective. Yeah, I know he's just kind of stuck in the middle, you know.
But neither one of y'all care about him. It's about self. Because if you truly loved him, it wouldn't bother you at all that he won't talk to you, he won't come around, because love don't need anything or anyone else. And love wish all
that
well.
makes a lot of sense. Well, thank you for that. I need to start doing the silent prayer more than just 2 or 3 times a week.
Why are you not doing it every morning, every night?
I just hadn't pushed myself into doing it. And I know if I'm going to get any results from it, I've got to do it every day, morning and night.
Yeah. And how are you going to live in the present, in the truth, in the present with God if you're not aware?
I agree. I'll tell you right now, in the name of Jesus, I'm going to start doing it morning and night.
That was a question. How will you live in the present if you're not aware?
I'm not living in the past.
That's why you're suffering like this. You shouldn't be feeling one iota of a thing about what your brother is going through, what is happening, whether this dumb woman come around or not, and all the mess she's thinking. That's their world as an individual, and that's what they want in their world. You are your world, and the outside world should not be affecting your world. But you're living in your thoughts and feelings, and so you are of the world. Anyone that's living in thoughts and feelings are of the world. And Christ said, well, in the New Testament, that we must overcome the world. And anyone that lives in thoughts are not overcoming the world.
I appreciate that. You are correct. I just ain't seen that in the proper perspective yet.
That's why if you work on you and stay working on you, no matter what someone else does or say or how they act, you will eventually start seeing that, wow, I'm not affected by the world anymore. And it would be amazing. And it's not like you can't make yourself not be affected by the world, but you will just overcome the world, and you will have a brand new, renewed mind. And you will start to understand all things. And in understanding, you can't be bothered by anything because there is no you.
I appreciate it, but that's why I got the tattoo on me. It says, "In the world, not of it." You know, it's an overall goal.
And the only way you go, when you overcome the mind and emotions, you will overcome the world, because the world is of the mind and emotion. It's an illusion. It's of the past and the future. All illusions. That's why all identities are illusion. They don't work because they're not real.
I got you. I appreciate that advice so much.
So go about, forget about your brother, wish him well, forget about him, and overcome the world, so you won't be affected inwardly in your world about anything of the world or anyone.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to start doing the silent prayer morning and night. Every day, starting the day.
All right, and don't blame your brother or anyone for what you're feeling. It's on you. All right?
I got you.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
You too. Amazing. 888-7753-773. I typed a note to Hake, but I don't think he saw it. I'm trying to get you in here so you'll be ready.
My bag.
For the super chat. Super
chats.
Gregatron bought 3 coffees. His first 3 coffees. This is my first time buying JLP some coffee because Streamlabs is a mess.
Thank you. Amazing.
Jesse, that Cheesecake Factory story blew me away. I love Cheesecake Factory.
Me too. I never saw anything wrong with the Cheesecake Factory and taking a date or anyone it doesn't get any better than that. What?
And it's not that cheap. It's not as cheap as like McDonald's or something.
It really isn't. This woman, yesterday we did this segment where this woman was upset because the man took her on a date, a black woman. She's black, overweight. But they took her to the Cheesecake Factory, and she wouldn't get out of the car. She couldn't believe the guy would take her to the Cheesecake Factory. I can't. Anyway, that's what he's referring to, folks.
Who does this woman think? Whenever I'm in the city that has one, I make sure to go. Who does that woman think she is? Question mark, question mark. Queen Elizabeth? Triple question mark. That place is always clean, good service, good food. Everybody's so polite.
Yeah.
This is why men don't want to date anymore. Look at what we're dealing with.
But if men took charge again, and when women act like that, they wouldn't be moved by it at all. And when the moment she started acting that way, instead of the date that she was on trying to ask, what's wrong? Why are you acting this way? I would just say, you know what? You don't want to come in? No, where you going? All right, get out of my car, bye. And just put her out. You go eat your little meal at the cheesecake or go somewhere else. But if men were in control, they wouldn't put up with it at all. Just throw her out of the car, that's all. Meaning that, tell her to get out. Amazing.
Gregatron, another coffee. Jesse, this is for last week or the week before. Tell Tony from California that you do not contradict yourself. The proof is Tony said you have no chimney. But if you look on the screen behind JLP, you clearly see a chimney. A chimney. Indeed.
I remember the last time Tony called, he tried to be slick. Where's the money that you're going to get the bill with? He ain't put one dime in there.
I know.
Yeah, evil spirits. Okay, thank you.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Question.
And he said I didn't have who don't have a chimney on their house?
I know.
I didn't even know they made houses with no chimney.
He claimed that black people don't have a chimney.
I'm not surprised. The blacks wouldn't have one. If they had one, they would tear it down. So maybe they don't have one. Oh, a mess. But decent white folks have a chimney.
Indeed.
Amazing.
Thank you. Someone 3 coffees. Question. If men are supposed to be the light and bring women out of their hell, why do you recommend not all, but most men leave their girlfriend or wife?
Oh, if they're supposed to be the light?
Yeah.
Because you can't make anyone want to come out of their hell. And so if the man is trying to point her out of it and she doesn't want it because she loves controlling the man, you need to leave her and not force anyone to overcome their hell. They love their misery. They love their hell. Leave them in there. And the man is supposed to guide the woman that wants to be guided out of her hell. But men should stay with women that love their hell because they're going to inflict it on you and your children. So that's why. But it's a good question, though. Even God, if you notice, God doesn't force anyone to come out of their hell. He doesn't bother, no matter how miserable you are, unhappy you are, you run around in your cave trying to find something to make you feel better, He'll just let you stay in your hell until you welcome Him in, and then He'll bring you out of it. So we should leave people in their hell and don't resent them for it, but don't force heaven upon them. So that's why the guys need to adopt these women that don't want to get better. Otherwise, they're going to bring hell upon you and your children. Good question. Thank you.
Soul Conscious bought 3 coffees. Jesse, amazing biblical question.
The new one?
Yep.
To whom or what are you loyal?
My answer is...
And why?
I am not loyal to anything or anyone. Loyalty is all ego/expectations. Another made-up word by the devil. Soul Conscious.
Thank you. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. I appreciate it.
Mike Young bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse. Again, I want to say I have nothing against parents being concerned or worried about their children, especially their grown children. But do you think that if the parents were good examples for their children, then there wouldn't be no reason to be concerned? And as for me personally, I think some parents are very egotistical, and it's sometimes about themselves because they fear of losing something. What do you think, Jesse?
I think that's amazing. That's deep. Thank you.
Someone bought you 3 coffees. Hey, Jesse, the line from the Old Testament, you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Isn't that such a beautiful, real line? I see that it is. I just wanted to share. I see that it is. Just wanted to share. My reading is bad, but also his sentence structure on that sentence was bad.
Don't understand it.
He did not include punctuation in the middle where he needed one.
Oh.
Much love for you and the crew. Stay blessed.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree. That's a nice line.
What it says?
God, you intended to harm me, but God intended it for good.
Yeah. That's amazing. That is so true, too. Nice. Thank you.
Alan Ballmer.
Nick said he saw it. LOL.
He saw what?
You saw me tell you let's do super.
Oh, right. Yeah. Thanks a lot for letting me know, Nick. He probably assumed that I was paying attention. Bad assumption. Alan Ballmer bought 3 coffees. Much love from Philadelphia. You're so right about lawlessness being out of control. They don't lock anyone up for anything. What the?
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do, Jesse. Amen.
It's amazing. You're welcome. And it's amazing to me that the government is deliberately unleashing the lawless to inflict hell upon the found. It's amazing. Thank you.
Mac bought you 3 coffees. Jesse, do you know if...
No.
I censored it because we don't do name drops on the show, but thank you. I'll pass that along to him.
All right. Thank you. And I'll check it out. Thank you. We got to stop there.
Okay.
And thank you all. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. 1 more hour to go. Manhood hours coming up. When I come back to your calls, and we'll finish the super chats and all that. Hake coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. And I'll be back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
Whole lot of mess going on in the world. It's crazy. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. The lines are full, guys, but JLP will be right back for Manhood Hour and your calls. But first, Hake News, not fake news. It's Wednesday, October 25th, AD 2023. And by the way, after the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, the Hake Report, and after the Hake Report at noon Pacific time, American Anchor, baby. A storm's blowing through in Mexico. Hurricane Otis has weakened to a Category 4 storm after making landfall early today near Acapulco, Mexico, as a life-threatening Category 5 hurricane it originally hit, but now it's Cat 4. Forecasters have warned that it could be a nightmare scenario, though, for Mexico's southern coast as it threatens to cause catastrophic damage with destructive winds, heavy rainfall, and storm surge, which is when the sea level rises for them in that area, or whatever, I guess. Forecasts show Otis is expected to weaken rapidly later today as it presses inland and over southern Mexico's higher terrain. Additionally, rainfall totals of 8 to 16 inches are expected in parts of the region through the end of the week. Some areas seeing up to 20 inches of rain. Wow. Meteorologists caution that this could potentially cause dangerous flash floods and mudslides. If it says could and also say potentially, isn't that redundant? Not sure. Immigration. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton suing the Biden administration, according to Commie Nonsense Network, for allegedly cutting razor wire at the U.S.-Mexico border. Remember watching that happen on video? Federal agents, the Republican said in the lawsuit. Ken Paxton, Republican, Attorney General, implemented a policy in late September that called for the destruction of the razor wire, which he claims undermined the state's border security. Feds. The suit filed in the Western District of Texas marks the latest chapter of the legal battle between the state of Texas and the evil Biden administration, Obama Part 3, over so-called border security during a migration surge, straining both local and federal resources. Last month, Border Patrol agents apprehended more than 200,000 migrants, illegals, crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally, the highest total during a one-month period this year. Social media scapegoating for bad parents, being scapegoated, dozens of states sued Instagram parent Meta, also Facebook parent, right? Meta on Tuesday, accusing the social media giant of harming young users' mental health through allegedly addictive features. In the federal lawsuit filed in California by 33 attorneys general, the states allege that Meta's designs, such as infinite news feeds and frequent notifications, have contributed to a mental health crisis in the United States. The suit also accuses Meta of violating consumer protection statutes, as well as the federal children's privacy law that prohibits companies from protecting the personal information of children under 13 without a parent's consent. Federal complaint calls for the court orders of prohibiting Meta from violating the law, and in the case of many states, unspecified financial penalties. All about the money. They just don't make bureaucrats like they used to. Roughly 300,000 student loan borrowers, according to Common Nonsense, received inaccurate bills, many with charges higher than they should be. The Department of Education identified numerous errors made by some student loan servicing companies and has directed the companies immediately to fix their mistakes. What a mess. They got rid of men and independent thinkers from quote-unquote healthcare. CNN shares this quote: "While usually healthcare workers are care diligently for others in their time of need, it is now our nation's health workers who are suffering, and we must act." Swooping in, CDC Chief Medical Officer Deborah Houry, Houry, issuing a statement after a new report from the agency found that nearly half of U.S. healthcare workers reported feeling burned out in 2022. A problem, quote unquote, of these so-called public health agencies' own making, right? Kicked out the independent thinkers who didn't want to get vaxxed and stuff like that. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
To stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. My biblical question for this week, the biblical question: to whom or what are you loyal and why? To whom or what are you loyal and why? I like that background there. Look like a Superman city. We have everywhere that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you were busy and can't sit and watch the show right now, I know a lot of people podcast later if they can't watch it. You can be listening on your iPhone or iPad back anywhere in the world, no matter where you are or what you're doing, by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And follow us on cozy.tv/JLP, cozy.tv/JLP, and JLP Talk on Twitter. All right? And to donate to have your Super Chats read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. It's Wednesday. It's the last hour of the show today. It is Manhood Hour. What is a man? What is a man?
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Beta male. A man is a male who turns to man. Alpha male. Live right, be right, and lead the way.
You're recording me?
Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it?
I was always raised that the man is supposed to cater to you. I mean, you're courting me, so court me.
I'll do whatever you want, baby. I adore you.
That means wherever I want to go, you take me.
Absolutely.
Whatever I want, you buy me. That's courting. I'm expecting to be treated like royalty.
I'm wearing the pants.
I'm wearing his pants. We know that women in leadership is just the right thing to do.
I have my literal business marketing degree. You know, people say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience!
What a mess, huh? With the pink bow on his head. What a mess! And it's only going to get worse. The world is evil, meaning people of the world are evil. Overcome evil with good. What a mess. The attack on men? Y'all don't understand the depths of what this means on earth. For men to be under attack, even in the home with their mama. You heard the young guy call. He's staying at home. He's still 35 years old. They have convention. Oh, save your money. It used to be set aside for women to say, stay at home, save your money, get ready, wait for your husband, or at least have some money. But not for the men. You're out of there 18, 19 years old. Go out there and make it on your own. 25 years old, still living at home with mama. Oh, mama take me to church. Of course she does. Anyway, it's up to you. One quick thing I want to mention to you. The Republican Party, I've said it once, I said it twice. Have said it 1,000 times. We have a one-party system now. And they are both the same now. The Republican Party is the Democrat Party. They are in there for themselves. It's about money and perceived power. It's be not deceived. It's not about anything else. For an example, they're giving all our money to, they send the money over to Ukraine, Israel, Iran, and Iran mama. All over in Palestine. They giving all our money to everybody but America. And the Republicans are just fine with that. They're just fine. The Republican Party, I vote now only for the Great White Hope in the Republican Party, and maybe one or two other people in there that's trying to appear to try to do the right thing. But I'm blown away that there's no outcry from the Republican Party about all this money being given to everybody. We're over there in everybody's business but our own. Ain't nobody business if I do. Our country falling apart in every way that you can imagine, and not one thing being done about it. Not one. The Republican Party fighting over a speaker while illegal aliens are crossing into our country. And they said there are many of them, now over 100, on the terror list. And not to mention those they haven't caught. You are blind and cannot see if you believe we still have a Republican Party. That's why the Republican Party don't want Donald Trump back, because he's going to make them do the right thing. And they don't want to do the right thing for the country. They fight over Joe Biden and all his money and whatever. How's that going to help America? How would that build a wall? How would that drill oil? How would that bring down the economy? How would that solve anything? Get Joe Biden later. Let's take care of the work first. The Republican Party is no good. We have a one-party system. They are no different than the Democrat. They'll go on TV and try to, patriot. They don't even know what patriot means. And if you notice, you pay like real attention in the conservative media, on these television, I don't know about radio and all that. And liberal media are the same. There's little or no attention about what's happening at home now. It's all about the war in Israel and Ukraine. It's like everything's stopped in our home. And believe me, that's for a reason. They're trying to distract you because elections are coming up. We're still having smash and grab and crime and illegal alien, border crossing, and white men and women getting beat up by the blacks, and all kind of stuff still happening. But do you hear about it? I'm pointing this out because I want to encourage you to take control of your life. Well, these people don't care about you. There's no love in our country anymore. Love is gone. Anger is being promoted as love. How do you forget about your own home and go and take care of somebody else's home and pretend that you care? They barely mention what's happening here now. It's still raping and robbing and carjacking in Chicago like 90 going north. North! And what are the Republican representative doing? They fight over a House Speaker or Speaker of the House. The Hill reporter, speaking to a reporter from New Hampshire, Trump did not appear poised to make an endorsement in the race as 9 candidates seeks to be the party's nominee. Watch this from X.
Something's going to happen. It'll be positive. It'll end up working well. I'm staying above it. I have to right now. But I've spoken to just about all the candidates. There are quite a few of them. And they're terrific people. You know, that 4 threshold is very tough. It's a very tough thing, no matter who it is. I said there's only one person that can do it all the way. You know who that is? Jesus Christ. If Jesus came down and said, I want to be speaker, he would do it. Other than that, I haven't seen anybody that can guarantee it. But at some point, I think we're going to have somebody pretty soon.
Amazing. The great white hope. I'm staying above it. Why don't you stay above the mess? Why do you have to join teams? Why don't you not be a part of the fight? Stay above the mess. Why you got to always join the crowd? The Republican representatives have joined the crowd. Just like you do in your own life. And you feel a thrill, think you're fighting for something. You ain't fighting for nothing. You're destroying your own life. Ain't nothing going to change. Stay above it. And you can do it. It can be done. But you got to rise above it and lay down your weapon. I'm glad that the government is not functioning right now until they get a speaker. Oh, at least I have money staying home for a little longer, I guess. But they don't tell it behind closed doors. It's still can be given away. We don't know it. So Trump was right about that. Only Jesus Christ can handle this. And Trump was right again. Here's a perfect example of it. This is from The Hill. New York Attorney General Leticia James described Trump's social media attacks against her as race baiting. Trump has repeatedly called James a racist in true social posts about the case. Watch this from X, where Trump is right again. Watch this.
Stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale. And we will not go away silently.
That's evil. That's the devil. Now do you believe me when I say that Satan is the woman's God and the God above is the man's God? When will you understand that? This female, Leticia James, has no business in our government. It's not in her to lead. Too white, too stale, too pale, too white. Too male. And you let that run our government. And it was once said, can't we all just get along? Remember that? Can't we all just get along? Some of you might remember John Adams. This is from johnadamacademy.org. John Adams said, our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any others. It was for the people who love what's right. Not from some stupid Leticia James that love evil and people like that. And all those silly females around her chanting, too male, too pale, too stale. They don't want white people running their own country. And unfortunately, the whites, in their state of fear, are handing it over in the same manner that they did in South Africa. John Adams said, according to johnadamacademy.org, John Adams said, our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any others. Leticia can care less about our Constitution as the people that are chanting around her. Their hearts are wicked. And last but not least, this is from Good Read, a quote from Margaret Thatcher. And Margaret said, the truth of the Judeo-Christian tradition are infinitely precious. Not only because they are true, but also because they provide the moral impulse which alone can lead to that peace for which we all long. Margaret Thatcher said, the truth of the Judeo-Christian tradition are infinitely precious. Not only because they are true, but also because they provide the moral impulse which alone can lead to that peace for which we all long. I told you once, I've told you twice, I told you 1,000 times, and I'll tell you again. Christianity is the best religion on this side of heaven. It's the best. It says you must be born again of the Father. Admit that you're wrong. Human nature is wrong. And be born of the Spirit of the Father. And you shall have peace. I came that you might have peace. Not happiness, but peace. And peace that is everlasting. Everlasting peace. Can you imagine living in this hell on earth with perfect peace? You can have it. It's up to you. Grace from Canada. Grace, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, Grace. Thanks for calling.
Awesome. No problem. So I just had like two things. The first one was just to answer the biblical question.
To whom or what are you loyal and why?
So I noticed that I'm currently actually loyal to thoughts. Like I see myself like with the thoughts and like I tend to like fall into them quite frequently, like especially most recently. That my response is that I'm loyal to thoughts.
Amazing. I appreciate that. And very interesting. And I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
Awesome. And then the next thing that I had a question about was, you know how you say that you should be your own like individual and just, you know, be like your own self that God created?
Yes.
So I'm wondering, how does that differ from selfishness? Like, what's the difference between like what we say as like being your own individual and how is that different from like when people say you're selfish?
The difference between being an individual, your own individual self, and being selfish?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in true self, not the phony self, but in true self, there is no selfishness. The word doesn't exist. The idea doesn't exist. It's only in the fallen state where you live in thoughts and emotions, you believe that selfishness exists, but it really doesn't.
Okay. That makes sense.
But in the ego fallen state, all human beings are about themselves, but it's not the real self. It's the fake self that they are about. It's like the call I just got from, I forgot his name, where he was saying that his brother had married some black woman and now they don't see the brother and the brother, he misses his brother and blah, 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 right? That's the ego self. And it's not about the brother. That woman trying to get the brother to feed her ego, pretending she care about the brother, and the brother is feeling the loss because it's about him, his ego. Not him, but his fake self, false self. And it's not about the brother because if you truly had love for the brother goes off, you just wish him well, but you're not feeling anything about it. It doesn't feel like a loss at all.
Oh, okay. So it's like true selfishness is like when you get life out of that kind of like ego self.
The true self is a life without thoughts. You don't think about, identify, and think about anything. You just live life. The false selfishness is when you're in a fallen state, it is all about you, how you feel and what you want, and they're not acting the way I want them to act, and I want this and I want that.
Okay. That makes sense.
Amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night, Grace?
Yes. Every morning, every night. And I'm noticing that because in the last couple of church sessions that you've been having, when you talk about how the devil's always asking, you know, who am I going to be?
Yeah.
That's like the one thing I'm really struggling with right now because I'm just that's the thoughts that I'm saying that I'm loyal to, because it's like I get so overwhelmed with that same constant question lately. Like, what am I going to be when all of this is dying away from me? Because I notice like it's almost like I'm like the thoughts are like slowly distancing themselves from me.
Yes.
And because I don't have any attachment, I don't have any, I can't identify with things anymore as I used to. It's like, what am I going to be now? So that's like the one thing I'm trying to take it one day at a time, but it's like, it gets to be overwhelming sometimes.
I understand. I was telling my staff the other day is that I remember when I first started to overcome identities and thoughts and all that, and this thing starts screaming. That thing starts screaming, who will you be without thoughts? What's going to be left? You have nothing to hold on to. You have no thoughts, no identity. Who will you be? And it felt like I was falling off a cliff with nothing to catch me. But I stayed with it and stayed with it. And I just realized that all those phony ideas and identity was all fake anyway. I was already off the cliff and didn't know it. And so and the more I see of that, I'll just allow myself to fall away from them and fall away from them. And it's amazing that all of your troubles and all of your worries and all of your everything is all thoughts. It's all false identities that we think is real, and that it is really all an illusion. It's not even real. It's crazy to see that.
It's like every single thought, to the point where it's like, it's almost like when I see it, sometimes I have to laugh at, like, within myself, because I'm like, it's insane how much the devil goes after everything.
Absolutely. Because he doesn't want to depart from us. The devil lives in human beings. He's made a home in you, and he doesn't want to depart from that home. But if you stay with it, he has no other choice, because he's defeated. He's weak. And he just makes you believe and feel like he has strength, but he really doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Grace. Stay with it, no matter what.
Yeah.
If you lose the world, that's what you want anyway. You stay with it.
Sounds good. Amazing.
Thank you, Grace.
Okay. Thanks. Have a good one.
You too. Ladies, you got to do the same thing if you want to be free. You must overcome the world. In order to live, you must die. You must be born again, men and women. There's a line open at 888-7753-773. Let me go to Josh out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. Josh, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jesse.
Hey, Josh, thanks for calling.
Yes, sir. I was calling for the biblical question as well.
To whom or what are you loyal, and why?
I would say I don't think I'm loyal to anything. It's either that or I don't quite know, because like what Grace said, I'm definitely, it seems, I definitely will still obey the thoughts, but I don't want to do that, but I do it. So I think to be loyal to something, you have to want that. You have to intend that, maybe. But I do what I don't want to do. So I don't think and I kind of think that loyal, it means nothing. Nobody is loyal to anything. It's just an illusion that we think we're loyal, but we could all end up like Judas or Peter when he denied he knew Christ.
And so, because I'm black and slow, I gotta say. So, are you loyal or not to anything?
Not.
And why do you say you're not? I don't want to be left alone.
I would think that I thought loyalty means you intend to serve something, and you do. You intend. I think loyalty requires intent. I am loyal to the thoughts, just like what Grace said, but I don't intend to be loyal, so therefore I'm not really loyal to that. It's something that's the demon in me just knows how to manipulate me, and I'm trying to get out of doing that.
So you are loyal, but you don't intend to be loyal? Loyal?
No, because to be loyal, I would have to intend. So you can't be you can't be loyal without intending to be loyal.
Are you loyal to thought, or you're not loyal to them?
I'm not, because I don't intend to, but I do believe them. I do. I can't stop myself.
I gotta get me a drink.
Can't control it. Huh?
I gotta smoke a joint right now.
Maybe I'm intellectualizing it. Maybe that could be possible
what?
too. I went to college, man. Don't bear with me. I'm sorry if I went to college. I can't help it.
So, give me a yes or no on this one. Are you loyal to anything or anyone?
No.
Okay. Amazing. Have you, before you heard this as a biblical question, did you think you were loyal, or were you familiar with being that way? Did you remember this word?
I kind of had forgotten it a little bit too. I only used to use that word back when I was dating girls, and I wanted a girl that was loyal. Or I would lie to her and tell her I was always loyal. But no, ain't nobody loyal. The right situation comes along, we're all Judas, we're all Peter.
That's a very interesting statement.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Now, that part is deep. While you're being loyal, you're being Judas.
Yeah.
And you say you're loyal. What the?
Right. And I see situations like that happen in my life. Like, not on that scale, but on a smaller scale all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to smile for that person, but I smiled. I was a beta male. I didn't want to be a beta male, but I was a beta male anyway. I can't help it.
Amazing. Thank you, Josh. I got to take a break. Right. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. I know that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. Hassan is jamming. Amazing. The treasure chest is open on D-Live there. The Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. at the top of this hour, by the way. 9 a.m. Pacific time to 11 a.m. And at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. You know, I really want to wish you guys well, ladies. I want you to know you can be free, but you got to work on you. And as soon as you stop believing thoughts and emotions, you shall be free. That's all it takes, really. You shall know the kingdom of heaven. And because this country and this world is only going to get worse, it's not going to get better. Look at things now, and you'll see. Think about how it was 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Does it seem to be getting better? As long as you're on an ego trip, and the world will, mean the people, the government, everybody just like you. They are no different than you. They are doing exactly what you do to yourself and others. It's the same thing. And for you to join forces and start fighting one another, it clearly states that you are blind. And you don't even know what you're fighting about because the media and the government ain't telling you the truth. Nowhere in the world. I don't care what media, what government. And earlier we talked about Margaret Thatcher and John Adams and what they say about Judeo-Christian values. Christianity is the best religion. I'm just telling you that. And I know people take Christianity and mess it up. They think they own it, right? But it's the only religion that tells you to look at your heart and repent that you have sinned of the heart, that you have anger, and then forgive and be born again of love. It's the only religion that tells you that I'm aware of. Judeo-Christian value is amazing. And I know the people that hate the Jews don't want to hear about Judeo-Christian value. If it wasn't for Judaism, there would be no Christianity. According to the word, I don't know when they start putting them together and saying it, but when I was growing up, that was made clear. If there were no, we were ushered in. Jesus like, what the Lord, before I leave here and come back up there and sit at your right hand and turn on the TV and watch what's going on in the world, let me bring what was it they were called before they became Christian? The Jews and what were we?
Gentiles.
Gentile. Jesus like, Lord, Father, the Gentiles out here trying to follow me. What should I do? And the Father said, let them in. Let the Gentile, all those who will come, let them in. And Jesus like, cool. And he went back and said to the Gentile, oh, okay, join up with the Jews and follow me. And they did. And it became amazing. And here's what Dennis Prager had to say about Judeo-Christian values from American Greatness. This from Dennis, from American Greatness. Dennis Prager, for those who don't know, he is Jewish, and he's very reasonable in his thinking. Very logical and reasonable, and he really considers things rather than just spouting off and not knowing what he's talking about. He says, in speaking about Judeo-Christian values, if this doesn't make you think, and there ain't nothing else gonna do it, I'm sorry. Suffer in your hell, stay in your hell, and suffer. Dennis Sprinkle said about Judeo-Christian value, there's one God. God, not man, not government, is the source of our rights. God, not man, not government, is the source of our rights. Good and evil are the same for all people. Good and evil are the same for all people. The human being is created in the image of God. That's why I tell you all the time, just think about that. We are all created, all in the image of God, and yet we treat each other like savages, like animals, like no love. Think about that. Family members treat each other the same way, like animals. Husband and wife treat each other the same way, like animals. Then it said that the human being is created in the image of God. The world is based on divine order. The world is based on a divine order. Man, that's deep. And you want to be led by a divine spirit, not a dark, evil spirit. Man is not good, and we must not follow our hearts. I rest my case. Man is not good, and we must not follow our own hearts. Honor your father and mothers, and love your neighbor as yourself. Who loveth their neighbor as himself nowadays? Who is honoring their mother and father? They won't. You can't honor your parents if you don't forgive your parents. Honor means don't resent them. Forgive them. They couldn't help themselves. It doesn't mean kiss up, cater up, and let them use you and control you, especially the mama. Honor means don't resent them. They've done the best they can. And when you don't have anger, you have love. So then it says, honor your father and mother, and love your neighbor as yourself. God said to honor your father and mother that thy days may be long. Then it goes on to say the ultimate embodiment of Judeo-Christian values has been the United States of America. I rest my case. The ultimate embodiment of Judeo-Christian values has been the United States of America. That's why they want to wipe out white men. White men brought in Christianity to America, into the European nations and places like that. And what do the darkness want to do? Is to wipe out white men because they want to wipe out Christianity. Here's Dennis Prager talking about Judeo-Christian value from PragerU. Watch this.
Christians speak of original sin in referring to man's nature. Jews cite what God said in Genesis, the will of man's heart is evil from his youth. The two religions need each other. Without the Old Testament, there is no New Testament. Virtually every Christian moral principle derives from the Hebrew Bible. At the same time, Jews need Christians. It was overwhelmingly Christians who carried knowledge of the Hebrew Bible to the world. I am a believing Jew. While we have different theologies, we have the same core values. That is why traditionally religious Protestants, Catholics, Mormons, and Jews are aligned on almost every important moral issue. God and man, God and nature, man and woman, human and animal, good and evil.
Amazing. Why can't we get together and reason together? No, you're divided by stupid titles, identities, false identities. Now you're fighting one another because you believe your identity, your title is better than the next person. So you can't come together to reason. You divide in groups and you fight. We fight like fools. Lay your weapon down. Let's get together and reason together. That's what a Judeo-Christian person would do if you truly believed it. No, you got to fight because your ego think yours is better, and it's not. Super chat. Super.
Super chats.
Tanya bought you 10 coffees. In Britney Spears' book, in chapter 35, she said something that made me think of you. She said, maybe that's the power of thoughts. Whatever you think you are, you become. Don't give thoughts power, says Tanya. Doubt all thoughts.
Amazing. All I ever do is think of you. Thank you, Tanya. That's deep.
I got to read Britney Spears' book.
Britney Spears isn't that crazy woman?
Yeah.
The one that was playing with the knives the other?
Yep.
What the? I would love to counsel with Britney Spears.
Indeed.
Because she really needs love. She needs some guidance. Real guidance.
You talked to what's-her-name's dad? That other nutty woman from the Disney crew? She got on drugs. Lindsay Lohan's dad?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
That was amazing.
Yeah. He left during the break.
Yeah.
Anyway, my close and personal friend Jib Jab bought a coffee. Can you authorize a 3-hour show for James, as in Hake, a daily show for Jor-El, as in Joel Friday, and a street stream for Nick? Asks Jib Jab, my close and personal friend, to Jesse.
What's a street film?
A street stream? Nick to go on the street like he did during the Black Lives Matter riots.
Oh, nice. We're working on some major additions. We really are. So, yeah, thanks for those suggestions. We'll look at them. It's time to make some more changes anyway with the older hosts who have been here for a while. And I think Joel may be jumping at the bit to do his more hours.
Yep. Did you say jumping at the bit?
Yeah.
I say, because I learned it from my mother, chomping at the bit.
Yeah, chomping at the bit. Well, I'm black.
I didn't say trumping. I said chomping.
Chomping.
And and then they correct me. The chat corrects me that it's champing at the bit.
Oh, Lord. Whatever bit.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Amazing Asia, now a member. Hey, I'm a member now. Amazing. Celebration hands emoji.
Thank you.
Amazing Asia bought another coffee.
Look, you should see my hands in your way.
Indeed. I haven't heard.
I put lotion on them so they're not ashy.
Right. I haven't heard from Jason from Buffalo for a while. Is he blocked, or is he at the border helping the migrants cross with fentanyl, or is he in Israel fighting with Palestine? Well, wherever he is, he can be listening to the show on the listen line, unless he went to Canada. Maple leaf emoji, dead headstone, and cheesecake.
I forgot about Jason. As far as I am aware, he's not blocked.
Yeah.
So he might be at the border helping out. I don't know, but he's not blocked for sure. Not that I'm aware of.
Zuzu C. on with a coffee. Jesse husband, heart emoji. Love you so. Sad face emoji. Much. Read it, Hank. Angry face. Do I love you or not? Triple question mark. I don't know. What do you think? Is it love or hate? Triple question mark. LOLOL.
Amazing. I don't know, Sion. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. What the?
Kid Combo 1.0 with a diamond.
I hope Hank read that right.
I pretty much read it well.
Okay.
M. Tyson Trans Son said not to air JLP episode. That's what happened, said Kid Combo 1.0.
What?
I don't know. And it's like he doesn't use spaces.
What happened?
M. Tyson Trans Son. Oh, Mike Tyson's trans son has said not to air JLP episode. That's what happened to the Mike Tyson episode.
There was an interview Mike Tyson and I did together over his studios. It hasn't aired yet. And I know Mike had no problem with it, but I think it was kind of controversial. Maybe his handler had a problem with it, I think.
His producers or whatever.
Yeah, something. But don't worry. There's always a possibility.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That handyman with a couple of Rumble rants. Beta no more on Buy Me a Coffee. I live in Fresno and heard you say you live in Bakersfield. I'd like to get it. Oh, okay. He wants to come to church. He's in a wheelchair, so it drives a little hard. I'd love to see church with Jesse Lee Peterson in person.
I don't live in Bakersfield.
No, I think he was addressing somebody else who is over there.
Oh, okay. I'm not in Bakersfield.
Yeah.
And drive your wheelchair down to 405.
Give that guy who got booted from the Speaker of the House a call. He's from Bakersfield, and ask him to take you to church.
I hope you make it soon. Thank you.
Kevin McCarthy. Thank the JLP crew. I want to thank the JLP crew in person for everything they helped me with, says that handyman. Right on, man.
Thank you. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Elias Garcia bought a coffee. Jesse, who would you rather be friends with, Uncle Ruckus or Steven from Django?
Who?
Steven from Django. It's that movie where...
Well, I can't be friends with either. They doesn't exist. What the...
Okay, very slippery on that answer. Someone bought you 2 coffees. Amazing. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Someone bought you 4 coffees. Thank you for church and the show, Jesse and crew.
Thank you. Check out the church at rebuildingtheman.com. You can podcast at rebuildingtheman.com/church. It's amazing. Thank you.
JV the Great bought a coffee for the biblical question. Unfortunately or fortunately, depends on how one looks at it.
To whom or what are you loyal and why?
I'm loyal to my employer no matter how I feel. I go there faithfully to provide a living for myself. I believe we all have to be loyal to whatever is allowing us to make a living for ourselves. If they fire me, then that's a different story. LOL.
Amazing. Thank you.
R.H. Hernandez IV bought 5 coffees. Jesse, my first child is a boy. Is due any day now. I hope his first words are, "What the?"
Congratulations. Real men make boys first. We had a caller earlier. Both his 2 children are boys. So I asked, oh, so you know the secret to making boys first?
Earthquake.
He's like, yeah. What?
Was that an earthquake just now? Oh, maybe it was you. Maybe you're shaking the world. Go ahead.
He knew the secret. So congratulations.
That'll be R.H. Hernandez V. Doxed the baby before he's even born. Anyway.
Do you know the secret to making boys first?
No, and I don't want to talk about it. Elias Garcia bought a coffee. Jesse, you have the best singing voice on this side of heaven. Can you sing My Mama Don't Like You, She Likes Someone Else, please? Hang loose emoji. Thank you.
It's hard for me to sing when people ask me to sing.
Indeed.
It's weird how it's like...
I'm not your trained monkey that I'm just going to perform for you.
I can't do it with that, but I'll hit it one day.
Yeah.
All right? Thank you.
But she likes someone else, according to this guy.
Oh, she likes someone else?
As in, because you say, and she loves everyone.
Oh, my mama don't like you. She likes everyone.
But he wants you to sing, my mama don't like you. She likes someone else.
What? Thank you.
Lily Poo on Rumble. Christ is the only way to peace on earth.
Christ is king.
Indeed. Damien, 5 coffees. I love you, Jesse. Not going to judge you for this one, but everything you just said about Judeo-Christians is in all Abrahamic religions. It's not just Judeo-Christians. It's more accurate to include all 3, meaning Islam. And then realize that somewhere along the way, they all became corrupt. I don't dislike Dennis Prager and don't disagree with what he said, but modern Jews have nothing to do with Christianity. Hell, he cussed. Even modern Christians have...
I disavow hell.
Yeah, me too. HE double toothpicks. Even modern Christians have nothing to do with Christianity. Let's not identify with people, places, and things. Thank you for everything, Bon and Jesse. Love for all people, says Damien.
Thank you, Damien. I appreciate it. Amazing.
And thank you, guys. I do believe that's all for now.
Amazing.
Wow, we made it.
You made it. Let me go to Jonathan real fast here out of Colorado. Jonathan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How you doing, man?
All is well, sir.
Good. I appreciate your content, man. It's always good to hear what you have to say.
Thank you.
So I did want to answer the biblical question. It has to do with, what is it? To whom am I loyal to or what?
To whom or what are you loyal and why?
So to whom am I loyal to? or what is me. I'm loyal to myself. The most important person in this world would be me and my example or the path that I show to all those around me. You know, based off listening to your content and learning with the silent prayer and you know, just being still and just knowing God, it's not about knowing everything else or everyone else. It's just knowing yourself. So if you're going to be loyal to anything, you have to be loyal to yourself and the commitment that you have to God. The biggest concept for me has been anger. Anger is probably one of the biggest things that's made the change for me. And being still and knowing is what you experience when you don't have anger. You know, recognizing situations or seeing situations without anger, it allows you just to understand. And that brings you peace. And as long as we continue to live life with peace and no anger, you know, because love is only the absence of anger. If you have the absence of anger, you have love.
Amazing.
And, you know,
I got to run, but I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday, Jonathan. Thank you for that.
I appreciate you, Jesse. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very interesting response. I appreciate it, buddy. Amazing. Let me go quickly to dollar, dollar, dollar. Why do you holler? Have nobody see your Johnny darling. Dollar out of Texas. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi.
I wanted to answer the biblical question.
To whom or what are you loyal and why?
I'm loyal to no one, and the reason is because loyalty is attached to an identity, and it's evil.
Had you thought about that word? Were you thinking before it became a biblical question that you were loyal?
I had noticed things about loyalty and about people who place value on loyalty. They're the first person that will turn on you if you do something they don't like.
That's deep. It's just interesting that while they were saying that they were loyal, they're turning on you. What the?
Right. It's like they place that value on there, but it implies that you're going to be loyal to them, like they think that they're entering into a contract.
Amazing.
That's what I think of it as. Loyalty it's implying a contract, and both people are not always going to agree. You can't always agree. So then it becomes a thorn because somebody's not going to agree.
Darla, that's very interesting. Thank you so much. And I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. I got to run. I appreciate the feedback.
I can't wait to hear it. Thanks, Jesse.
You're welcome. Amazing. I am so out of time. It blows my mind. I'm out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now from 9 to 11 a.m. and then the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. You don't want to miss it. And get on that straight and narrow, folks. Know thyself, not somebody else. Once you know yourself, you're going to clearly see what's going on with all. All right, be in the world but not of it. It's going to happen naturally. You can't make that happen either. Do the silent prayer, forgive, and you shall be forgiven. All right, it's a spiritual thing. Tony out of California, and the calls are dropping. I am out of time. Tomorrow is Bible Thumper Thursday. Have a good day, folks.
Check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. We got fighting to do. We gotta show 'em who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the lose. You better go talk to your mama, better stop at the drama, better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if you don't, then we lose, and then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. You must know that so you can
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Other than sex, I wonder why would a man even need a woman today? Women don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They're in competition with men. They don't want to be wives and mothers. Some want to get married, but they don't want to live in that proper position of life. Because the only purpose of marriage is to have a family. And that's been known forever. And so if you don't want to have children, there is no need to get married. And so I was wondering, why would a man even get married today? I never thought I'd see the day when women would come out of her natural role and be like a man. Even though she hate that role. When she was with a man that's weak, she hate him. But if he try to be strong, she'll stop it. I never imagined that. You're seeing good destroyed and abnormal is presented as normal.